Hello and welcome, it's Debs here, and as always it's great to have you with me. So I was asked to make this video by someone who's struggling a bit with being scared of their own thinking and feelings. So here goes, I will do my best. I wanted to start by saying that the assumption here is maybe that it's a bit silly to be afraid of your own thoughts and feelings, but I don't think that's true, because the only thing that human beings, all of us, any human being, the only thing we're ever scared of is our own thoughts and feelings. So first of all, let's put that out there. Nothing in and of itself is scary. It's the story we make up that can scare us. If we had no thinking, there would be no feeling, no story, and no fear. No matter what happens, if we couldn't have thinking about it and then feel that thinking, we would never be scared, because we simply wouldn't have an experience. So thinking about it in that way, the gift of thought and feeling is the gift of us being able to have experience. And however scary our experience is, the truth is we do want to have an experience. We're here to do that. That's what we're here in human form to do, to have an experience. I mean, how boring would it be if life started with, and Deborah was born and she lived happily ever after? Nobody really wants that. And part of the game of life, part of why we're here, is to work out how we can have a great experience with a manageable amount of fear and not let that fear spoil the fun of being here and being human. So how do we do that? Especially when we are gripped in the fear of something terrifying, some terrifying thinking that feels very real, and it's telling us that there's danger and it's dangerous for us not to believe it. The trick, if that's the right word here, is to look towards what is creating and not towards what has been created. Because when we find ourselves in that fear, we are very absorbed, we're very much taken up by what's going on, by something that we've created, by something that is out there in, created. So an example and another way to see this is, I remember when I first came to this understanding, and I've never liked horror movies, and I was never able to watch a horror movie. And my son was a teenager, came to be a teenager, and he was, I guess he was goading me in one sense and kind of saying, well, with everything that you understand now, Mum, you could watch a horror movie with me. And I can't exactly remember the conversation or how it happened, but I actually did end up watching a horror movie with him because of some conversations we'd had about this and understanding. He said, if you know that it's just your thinking and you don't have to be scared of the film, you can watch it. So I ended up, and I got through the film. I did actually watch it, and what I actually did was I stood and did the ironing. I would often watch things on telly while I'm ironing, so I stood with my iron and ironing board, and every time I got too drawn into the film, I would take my attention away from the film and look at the ironing board, look at whatever it was I was ironing, a t-shirt or something, and then think of, oh yeah, the last time I wore this t-shirt we were out for a walk, or we'd been out for a meal, whatever. I would pull myself out of the reality of what was on the screen. I would break that mesmerization, that connection with what was going on there, and pull myself back to that. And then I'd remind myself that whatever was going on the screen, it was actors and it had been made in a studio. I would look to what had created what was going on, not be pulled in so much by what was going on, if that makes sense. So I would take myself out of the reality of it and look at how is this happening on the screen? How is this horrific murder? How is this horrible thing happening on my screen? There's a bunch of actors in a studio playing these parts and doing that. And that's how we do it in real life. You know, when we are pulled into some thinking that feels really, really real, we remind ourselves of the truth. We go back to our grounding of knowing that wisdom and the thoughts that are worth thinking into come with a good feeling. They don't come with that scary feeling. We look back at the projector, not at the film. We look at how is it, you know, thought is the gift that creates experience. And we remember that fear doesn't contain wisdom. And the feeling of danger is like someone in the horror movie shouting danger, you know, running, screaming, shouting. And if you're scared of a horror movie, there's no need to do anything but bring yourself out of the film. You know, when I stood there that day and watched that, what I did know, what me and my son had been talking about, what I was kind of proving, if you like, was, yeah, I could be in this horrific, what seemed like a horrific reality, but I could take myself out of it. I could look back to, and that was all I had to do to stop being scared to get through the film. All I had to do was bring myself out of it. So once you're out of the film, you know, if it's a reality, you know, if we're talking about what's going on for you, once you're out, if there's something that you need to do, then your wisdom's going to kick in with a suggestion. But often as not, with these things, the whole idea, the whole fear, the whole thing dissolves when the film finishes. And that's true, you know, if you've noticed, if you've been caught up in something, caught up in and absolutely terrified of your thinking, the whole thing dissolves and disappears when that thinking disappears. And the truth of it is, the film industry will probably keep making horror movies. But after my one experience, my choice of film is always going to be unicorns and rainbows. And our mind will always have the ability to have scary thinking. It's something that will always be on the table for us. But also on the table, the thing that we always have going for us is that we'll also have the ability to see it for what it is, to stop watching it as if it's something that we need to be aware of because there's something we need to do here. We will always have the ability to take ourselves out of that really scary thinking and look towards God, look towards what's creating, look towards something divine mind, look in that direction. And yeah, it's not always the easiest thing to do, but the more we do it, the more practice we have. And you know, we can practice this in day-to-day life as well. We don't have to wait until we're stuck in scary thinking. We can spend time. I deliberately put time aside every day to just spend some time thinking into the joy and pleasure of life and this power behind life, what it means, you know. And I can do it when I'm having a cup of tea, I can do it when at any time, I can do it when I'm washing up, I can do it when I'm ironing, I can do it anytime, and nobody even needs to know I'm doing that. But I can go inside and just contemplate God, the universe, the higher power, whatever word works for you. And the more that we are used to visiting that place, the more easy it is. I know that day when I watched that horror movie, the reason that I could pull myself away, the reason that I could do that was because of what I was learning about my mind, because of what I did know. I knew that I didn't have to just stay in that terrified state. I could bring myself back and think about something else. So it is an ability that we can learn, that we can get better at, that we can, you know, work on. So I hope there was something useful in here. I hope that in that sharing there's something that's been helpful for you. Please feel free to leave your comments and questions, and if there's a video you'd like me to make, please do ask. I will put some details below this video of other things that I'm up to. At the moment, I'm doing something called 365 Days of Cracking Creation. If you're not in that with me and you want to be, the link's down below to find out more about that, and please do. We're having some great fun. And any other ways, you know, if you want to find out more about me, please feel free to look there and do so. Anyway, enjoy your day, have a great day, whatever you're up to, and I will be back soon. Take care. Bye for now.